Now we have to study the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle is the cyclic change occurring in the uterus and ovaries of the females under the influences of the FSH and LH at an interval of 28 days. That is the menstrual cycle. And during the menstrual cycle, one thing we have to remember is the menstruation. Menstruation is the shedding of the inner lining of the endometrium along with the blood vessels. Blood through the vagina is called the menstruation. And menstruation begins at puberty, and the onset of menstruation is called the menarche. That is around 10 to 14 years. And after 45 to 55 years, there is a complete or the permanent disappearance of the menstruation is called menopause. And we study about this menstruation. Here we have to see this. It is under the control of the hormone. And that is the anterior pituitary producing these two hormones, FSH and LH. And these hormones are having an important role during menstruation. In addition, ovary is producing two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. And that is also having an important role in menstruation. So first we have to see what are the important phases in menstruation. See, in menstrual cycle can be divided into 4 sub-stages. First one is the menstrual phase. Next one is the proliferatory or follicular phase. Third one is the secretory or luteal phase. Third one is, ovulatory phase. And the fourth one is the luteal or secretory phase. In some textbook, ovulatory and proliferatory phases considered as one phase. So there we can see the 3 phases. See, in every phase we can notice some changes. And whenever this every 28 days, the cycle is repeated. So whenever this FSH and LH level is very low in the blood, that time the inner lining of the uterus cannot maintaining its thickness. Low level of FSH and LH, reduce the blood flow into this endometrium, oxygen supply diminishes, and as a result, the inner lining along with the blood vessels broken off and discharged out, and that is called a menstruation, and that is 2 to 5 days. And in non-pregnant females, we can see this menstruation, and this, if there is no menstruation, mainly it is the sign of pregnancy. But if this menstruation sometimes due to this stress or strain or this poor health, so some diseases, it can be stopped. But mainly normal cases, if the stoppage of menstruation is the sign of pregnancy. See, that much only the menstrual phase. This is followed by this follicular phase. And during the follicular phase, this level of FSH, the anterior pituitary produces the hormone FSH. The level of the FSH is increasing in the blood. That causes the conversion of the primary follicle into secondary follicle into tertiary, and tertiary to the Graafian follicle. And this FSH is essential for the production of the estrogen hormone that is essential for the development of the secondary sexual characters. See, the increasing level of this FSH and increasing level of the estrogen, whenever the level of estrogen is, see, the middle of the cycle is the 14th day. Prior to 14th day, 3 days before this peak of the menstrual cycle, very high level of the estrogen reduces the level of the FSH in the blood. Reducing level of the FSH causes the increase in level of the LH in the blood, and around, that is, the follicular phase is lasting from the 6th to 14th day. And the 14th day, whenever this LH is very high, estrogen is also very high, and FSH also very high. The high level of the LH causes the breaking of, these are the various follicles. This is the Graafian follicle, and this middle of the cycle, this Graafian follicle breaks due to the LH cells and releases the ovum, that is the secondary oocyte. And whenever after this breaking, so whenever this estrogen is essential for the thickening of the endometrium, so follicular phases, we can see the gradual increase in thickness. See, after the rupturing of the Graafian follicle, remnant of this follicle changes into an yellow color body, and that time the level of the estrogen is gradually decreasing, and gradually the level of the progesterone is increasing. So that this ovulatory phase is over, and the next phase is the luteal phase, that is from 15 to 28 days. And during this luteal phase, it is otherwise called a secretory phase, because this inner lining of the endometrium, this is highly coiled glands. See, follicular phases also we can see this thickening of the endometrium. That time it is contained in this glands that is highly coiled, and it has the appearance of corkscrew shape. And this corkscrew shaped glands secreting a fluid that is called the uterine milk. See, that important event we can notice is in the luteal phase, and the thickening, that is endometrium thickness, it is increasing at around 21-22 days of the menstrual cycle. And the progesterone, that is acts on the uterus, that is maintaining the thickness of the endometrium. And progesterone, one is that is acting on the endometrium, and at the same time it is acts on the this ovary, that is preventing the maturation of the follicle. And 21-22 days, the implantation of the embryo can take place. So if there is no fertilization, this increase in level of the progesterone giving a negative feedback to the anterior pituitary, decrease in the production of the LH, and decrease in production of the LH, endocrine, that is corpus luteum can't functioning as an endocrine gland. Progesterone level gradually decreases, and around this 28th day, there is a decrease in level of progesterone, and the decrease in level of estrogen, and decrease in level of FSH, LH causes the shortage of the blood supply to the endometrium, and oxygen supply diminishes, and the next cycle starts. Suppose if fertilization took place, this corpus luteum again functioning as an endocrine gland due to the production of the this fetus, that is the chorionic gonadotropin. It's a hormone is produced by the placenta, that is a fetus, chorionic villi of the fetus, that is releasing into the blood. With that, corpus luteum can functioning as an endocrine gland. So this much only is a menstrual cycle. We have to see the fertilization. We already saw the structure of the sperm and ovum. See, fertilization is taking place in the fallopian tube. And in the cases of the human being, fertilization is a physico-chemical event. So one by one we have to see what are the important steps in fertilization. First one, we have to know what is fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gamete to form the zygote, and this process is taking place in the ambula isthmus junction of the fallopian tube. In order to effect the fertilization, male gamete as well as the female gamete to reach the fallopian tube. So, human beings are unisexual animals. By the coitus act, sperm is deposited in the vagina. That is the insemination. Sperm is reaching into the vagina by a process called the insemination. And whenever the sperm is reaching into the vagina, high acidic nature of the vagina kills many sperms. So millions of sperms are depositing in one ejaculation. Around 200 to 300 million sperms are depositing. And few can survive. Survived one move against the gravity and reaches to the fallopian tube. Its movement is assisted by the aspiratory actions of the uterus and the peristaltic movement of the fallopian tube causes the transportation of the sperm. Furthermore, the sperm, by the lashing movement of the sperm, support the rapid movement. See, sperm, whenever it is depositing in the vagina, it can live for 3 days, but its fertilization capacity is last for 1 day only. See, when the sperm is reaching to the ambula isthmus junction, by the time ovum is also reached there. See, during the ovulation, middle of the menstrual cycle, secondary oocyte is released by the Graafian follicle. This is collected by the fimbriae of fallopian tube, and then from the fimbriae it is taken to the infundibulum, and from there peristaltic movement of this fallopian tube, it reaches to the ambula isthmus junction. See, whenever the sperm is reaching into the fallopian tube, ovum is also reached there. See, when the sperm is reaching to the female reproductive tract, some changes we can observe in sperm. That capacitation, that is the maturation of the sperm prior to fertilization. Maturation of the sperm prior to fertilization. See, this is the ovum and this is the sperm. Capacitation, that is the maturation. See, acrosome extends and this releasing its enzyme, that is the maturation. See, whenever maturation is taking place, that is around the sperm head, around the acrosome head, number of inhibitory factors are present that can be removed. Then cholesterol vesicles are associated with this sperm head, that is to be removed. And this after removal of this cholesterol vesicles, the calcium ions can penetrate into the sperm. That is, the permeability of the calcium is taking place. So these events is taking place in this capacitation. And whenever the sperm is touches to the ovum wall, see changes we can observe. See changes is noticing in the ovum surface. See, one is the cortical reaction. That is, whenever the ovum is sperm is touching to the ovum, see this acrosome breaks and releases an enzyme that is sperm lysine. Sperm lysine is an enzyme. It contains a number of enzymes. First, this sperm lysine containing an enzyme called the hyaluronidase enzyme. See, ovum is surrounded by elongated cells, corona radiata. And this corona radiata is emitted by means of an enzyme, it's an acid called hyaluronic acid. This hyaluronic acid, it is hyaluronidase enzyme can remove this cementing material. Afterwards, it is released. Sperm lysine contains another enzyme called the corona penetrating enzyme. By means of this corona penetrating enzyme, corona lysis can be possible. See, this number of sperms are approaching the ovum. Only one sperm can reach inside the ovum. See, the number of sperms are needed because lot of sperm lysine is to release. Then only this hyaluronic acid cementing material can be removed. So after the breaking of this corona layer, next is the zona pellucida layer. See, zona pellucida surface. See, that also to break. See, surface of the zona pellucida layer containing number of receptors. That receptors containing a protein, fertilin protein. By means of the fertilin protein, this ovum can detect whether it is a right sperm or the wrong sperm. Here, and if it is a right type of sperm, this sperm lysine containing zona lysine, that is acrosin enzyme. By means of the acrosin enzyme, this zona pellucida layer breaks, and this is followed by number of changes we can observe in this ovum surface. See, whenever this sperm is approaching to this zona pellucida layer, and cortical cells, the cytoplasm containing the granules, these granules breaks. So by the time sperm nucleus enter inside the zona pellucida layer, and cortical granules breaks, and it is fuses with the vitelline membrane and forming a layer that is called the fertilization membrane. This fertilization membrane prevents the polyspermy and encourages the monospermy. See, no more sperm can enter inside. And whenever this sperm nucleus is approaching the zona pellucida layer, that time cytoplasm of the ovum extend to the side of the sperm and engulf the sperm nucleus, sperm head and middle piece inside it, and sperm nucleus enter inside the ovum nucleus. Whenever sperm nucleus enter inside the ovum nucleus, that stimulates the secondary oocyte to complete its second meiotic division. Because during the secondary oocyte stage, the secondary oocyte is entering into metaphase, and metaphase binding factor is present. With the entry of the sperm, it removes the metaphase binding factor and promote anaphase promoting factor that causes the breaking of this, that causes the change in the metaphase into anaphase secondary oocyte complete its second meiotic division to form actual ovum and second polar body. And whenever this ovum is released, that time when you study about this one, this sperm can enter inside. Sperm nucleus will enter inside the ovum only to the animal vegetal pole, because the first polar body that in which region the first polar body released, that region only sperm nucleus can enter inside. Along with the sperm nucleus containing the 22 plus X or 22 plus Y chromosome. Along with this, it contains this proximal centriole also. And whenever a sperm nucleus enters here and it fuses with the ovum nucleus, that is mixing of the pronucleus of the ovum with the pronucleus of the sperm to form the zygote. This mixing is called the ambimixis or cadiogamy. And cadiogamy leads to the formation of the zygote, and next after about 24 hours zygote entering into its cleavage division. See, when they study about this fertilization, sex of the child is determined by the father, not the mother. That meant an important question. See, male undergoing meiotic division to form the two different types of gametes. Some gametes having this 22 plus X, 23 chromosomes, or 22 plus Y. Females can always produce only one type of gamete, that is 22X. Suppose 22X of this male fuses with the 22X of the female to form 46 chromosome and 44 plus XX. That is a female child. That zygote to develop into a female child. Suppose male's 22Y chromosome fuses with the 22X chromosome of the egg to forming a fetus having 44 plus XY. That is male. So, sex of the child is determined by the father, not the mother.